Hi, welcome back. As you can tell from the title, I am updating you on some monthly, quarterly favorites. I don't remember the last time I did a favorites video. I just do this when I feel like I have a really good lineup of products that I've been enjoying, and I feel like we have now come to that. It's at the end of March, so we'll just kind of compile this into January, February, March favorites. And at the end of this, I will be discussing all of the books that I've read between February and March, because I think I updated you guys back in January on my current reading list. So if you want, you can stay tuned for that. That's always going to be at the end for my reading folks. But if you are here for lifestyle and beauty, then we are going to knock that out first. Starting off with, okay, I have a very solid skincare routine, which I can rarely say. Most of you know I have dry, very sensitive, eczema-prone skin. And as we progress into the spring and summer, it gets so bad. That's the opposite for a lot of people. I know a lot of people have really bad eczema in the wintertime. For me, heat really exasperates any type of issue that I'm having with my skin. You guys know in the summertime, my face in videos, it's drastically different from what it is right now. So I will credit good weather for my skin, partly being the reason why I feel like my skin is so repaired, one might say. But I really do enjoy this routine, and if you are dry, eczema prone, normal, or even mature skin type, then this is gonna be a routine for you. Some of these products you could incorporate even if you also have like a combination oily skin type. You'll just have to kind of decipher and see which ones you might be interested in. But the first up, we're gonna talk about double cleanse, because I have been trying to religiously double cleanse. I've always been a double cleanser, but not every single night, if that makes sense. You know, I get a little bit lazy and then I'm like, okay, we're just gonna see what we can get off, and then we'll leave my fate up to the universe in the morning time. You know what I mean? But this is the melting cleanser that I've been using for the past 3 to 4 years. It's the Tatcha Indigo Cleansing Balm. This is obviously, like the name says, it's a solid balm and it just kind of melts your makeup off. Fun fact, I got to do the promotional video and photography for this product launch a few years ago for the Sephora and Ulta website. This actually, Tatcha just launched in Ulta, and so it was really fun to see all of the videos I shot for this revived on the Ulta website. So if you go to the cleansing balm, and there's one other product, it might be the overnight cream, I can't remember, but you'll see me in the promotionals. And listen, girl, this is a repeat purchase for me. This is such a good cleansing balm if you have sensitive dry skin. The Indigo line from Tatcha is amazing if you have sensitive skin in general, but I love this cleansing balm because it's fragrance free, it's so gentle on my skin, and it removes makeup incredibly well. So this is, I mean, as you can see, like I'm already almost out. I would say I repurchase this every 3-4 months. I mean, honestly, I would say it lasts me at least 4. So I only have to purchase this probably about 2 to 3 times a year. A little goes a long way. So this is what I use to double cleanse. My actual cleanser is from Prequel. Now this is one that also has lasted me forever. I have had this bottle, gosh, I should probably look at the expiration date on this, because I definitely had this for over a year, and it is probably to right here. I'm still writing with a lot is what I'm trying to say. So this is the Prequel Gleanser. It's called Gleanser because it has glycerin in it. So it's very slippery. It's very forgiving on the skin. It's a very mild, gentle cleanser, and I don't feel like my skin is ever stripped when I use it. So I really love that slippery consistency that this has. And it's, like I said, it is just amazing for sensitive eczema prone skin. The entire Prequel line in general is amazing for sensitive skin. So for my double cleanse method, these are the 2 products that I use. I got this product around, I want to say, early holiday season last year, maybe right before Thanksgiving, and it is the Elta MD Skin Recovery Essence Toner. Now, I have a couple products from Elta MD, also a really good brand if you have sensitive skin. Most of their products are pretty mild, but I love this skin recovery line from them. The other product I'm going to talk about is also from the skin recovery line. I was not an Essence person. I've used SK2 in the past, and they're really nice. I'm lazy. I'm lazy and I don't implement them in enough. So this is, as you can see, I've started implementing this like in late November, early December, and you can see I've still got quite a bit left, but I really feel like putting this on after I wash my face helps my products absorb into the skin better. I've always seen that your face should be a little damp so it can suck in whatever products you're putting on top of it. So this is what I go in with after I cleanse my face. And the whole name of the game for these products is to help repair skin barrier. My skin barrier is constantly compromised, like constantly. This is the first time in probably like 3 to 4 years where I felt like I've had a healthy skin barrier. So this helps support a healthier skin barrier damage, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend if you feel like that applies to your skin type. Now, the other product that I use from them is the Skin Recovery Serum. This one is targeted a little bit more for redness, which I deal with a lot in the summertime. Love this. This is very soothing, very calming. I always notice a difference after applying this product. So if I feel like I'm a little bit more flared up, I will go in with this Skin Recovery Serum. And like I said, these are both from the Skin Recovery line. So the main purpose of these products is to help repair the skin barrier. So I actually alternate between this skin barrier serum and a little bit more of I don't want to say harsh product, but this is more of a treatment product, which always scares me. I can't use acids on my face a lot. I can't use a ton of anti-aging products because they just irritate my skin so much. This was one recommended by my dermatologist. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but I will say I always notice a difference when I use it, and I've been through 2 different tubes so far since probably around the same time, like early November, possibly even like October of last year. And this is the Epionce Light Lytic TX Retexturizing Lotion. So I have used, there's basically 3 different forms of this lotion. You can get the light, which is the most gentle, which is what I'm using right now, because that's, I think this is the only one you can use when you're pregnant or breastfeeding. So obviously while I was pregnant, I switched to this one. However, before I was pregnant, I was just using the regular Lytic TX lotion. This is a really gentle exfoliating lotion for your skin, so it kind of sloughs off, excess dead skin. I oftentimes have like flakes around like my nose and my forehead, and I always find when I wake up in the morning that after I use this, that my skin just looks fresher. Those flakes are gone, and I do feel like in a like anti-aging terms, if we're talking anti-aging product, because that's what my derm recommended this for, I was like, yo, I need something that's anti-aging that is not going to rip my skin up. And she was like, girl, try this. I do have to say, from an anti-aging standpoint, I do think that this has helped. Like, I feel like I look at my skin and it looks a little bit more firm, a little bit more plump. And that's after also having a baby, because when you're pregnant, like, you're used to seeing your face with less wrinkles because you're a little bit more, like filled out in the face. So I've reached back to my pre-pregnancy weight, and I still feel like my skin's looking decent. You know what I mean? And I feel like this has a lot to do with it. So if you want something gentle, a nice gentle retexturizing lotion, anti-aging product that you can incorporate into your routine, would highly recommend, the Light Lytic if you're very, very, very sensitive. If you're not, they also have the regular Lytic, and then they have like an extreme Lytic. So if you got like tough skin, if you have a strong skin barrier and you're willing to risk it, then maybe try the extreme one. Okay, this is a brand new product. It literally just launched in such a perfect timing for me. Okay, over this past weekend, it was spring break. We took our son so we live close to East Tennessee. So we are in like Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Dollywood area a lot of the time. We took our son to Dolly Stampede for the first time. And let me just tell you, anytime I go, and when I go into that place, I know I'm going to be leaving hell bent, because the dirt and the dust and the animals causes me, do you kind of hear like my congested talk right now, my voice? That's all. God love her. We love Dolly. We love Dolly Stampede. But 10 minutes in, your girl is a mess. I am sneezing, I'm coughing, I'm hoarse by the time that I leave. So when we left Dolly Stampede, Will was like, oh my gosh, your face is so, like, it was red, it was patchy. I mean, I had like horrible allergic reaction, just splotches all over my face. So unfortunately, I didn't have anything to use while we were there. We went home the next day and this arrived on my doorstep, and I cannot thank Prequel enough for sending this over. It's their new Reactive Skin Solutions 5% Ectoin cream. So this is kind of the way that I'm understanding this, is it's a replacement for a steroid cream, which I often have to use in the summertime. My skin gets so bad that I end up having to resort to a steroid form cream. So this is meant to be used on eczema or irritated skin. Okay, this is what the Prequel website says. A steroid-free, soothing solution that renews the skin surface while restoring compromised skin barrier. Formulated with a potent blend of 5% ectoin, urea, something else I cannot pronounce, allantoin, which I think is in another one of their products. I bet it's the skin barrier cream that I'm recognizing that from. But it says the 5% ectoin cream alleviates sensitivity, scaling, roughness, redness, and irritation while moisturizing the skin. This worked overnight. When I say that this worked on my skin overnight, I'm not joking, and it literally does feel moisturizing, just like the name says. So if you're used to using a steroid cream, so although like when I do have to use a steroid cream, I will notice results and like less irritation, it always dries my skin out. My skin never feels moisturized after using it. This literally feels like a moisturizer on your skin. So I love that about it. It does not feel harsh on the skin. It's not a steroid. And I had like horrible red eczema patches like underneath my chin. And I just put a little bit underneath my chin. I put it around my nose where I was having the dryness and the flaking and the reactions. Literally the next morning I woke up and gone. Like significantly, I would say like 75% healed up, looking normal. And then today, like I don't have any dryness like anywhere. It's amazing. So this is only $25. I also love that about Prequel. All their stuff is so affordable. You go into Walgreens now, freaking Sarah, you get a CeraVe cleanser, like $25 minimum. So this hands down is worth it to me. And it's 1 fluid ounce. And a little goes a long way. So this is new in my routine, but I wanted to shout this out because I saw results immediately. Last but not least, we have the Holy Grail SkinFix Barrier Plus Moisturizer. This is their triple lipid peptide cream. I go through these like hotcakes. I mean, seriously, this is one of my all-time favorite moisturizers. It is so simple, yet so complex. It's simple in its like ingredients and the way that it feels, but it just continuously works. It moisturizes my skin perfectly. It's not greasy. It settles in really nicely. My skin always feels so soft when I wake up in the morning. And if you are eczema prone, to me, there's no better choice than this right here. The whole SkinFix line is so underrated in my opinion, especially if you do struggle with eczema prone skin or sensitive skin or rosacea. You need to be using at least one SkinFix product. It's a no-brainer for me. I continuously repurchase this, and anytime I'm sent some of this, I'm so grateful because I know it's going to get used up ASAP. This is probably one of my fastest products that I go through. I will say I wished it lasted a little bit longer. Around the holidays, they do a jumbo size. I jump on it immediately. But SkinFix, so underrated. This moisturizer is a game changer. If you're curious about what I have on my eyes currently, it is my collection from Mob Beauty. It's my second release, M162, or from my second release. I actually have 5 cream clay shimmers that I developed with Mob Beauty. This was one of the last ones that we did. It's the shade M162, also known as Share, because we designed this, or I chose this specific silvery gray based off of Cher's Believe album, which was the first ever CD that I owned. When I got a CD player, Cher's Believe album had just come out, and I was thumping. Do you believe in love after love? Anyways, Y2K, early 2000s was definitely a big inspiration from our second launch of Cream Clay Shimmers. And we knew that we wanted to do like a very beautiful silver gunmetal shadow. So I currently have this on my eyes right now, and I just opened up a fresh one. I haven't had one at my house. It's been at my office. I had a couple extra at my office. I brought one over, and I have just been loving this for a quick wash of just gunmetal over the eyes. It's been fun. It's been, you know, it's like cool tone winter vibes. It's been very cold here in Tennessee, and so this has kind of been like my go-to wash over the lids. It's very icy, frosty. It's giving winter time, you know what I mean? So this has just been a favorite eyeshadow lately out of all of the ones that I have done with Mob. This is definitely it's not a daring shade, but it's definitely not one that I feel like a lot of people would gravitate towards daily. So I just wanted to show you it can be worn daily. It can be made wearable. And it can be made fun. Like, you can build this up if you want this to be deeper or darker or more frosty. You just have to layer it. So yeah, I've been using M162 a lot for my eyeshadow. Let's move on to body care. I don't have a ton of makeup because we know I'm in my minimalist era. I'm sticking to my project pan. Most of the stuff that you see on my face right now I've already talked about it in a video within the past month because I'm using the same products. We're using things up before we purchase new ones. But this is a repeat purchase product for me. It's a body care product, and I just had to talk about it because I think it has been amazing for my dry skin this winter, and it's the Naturium Glow Getter multi-oil body butter. Now, I have used the shower gel version of this in the past, actually quite a few. I've went through quite a few of those, but I had never purchased the actual body butter. I've also had the lotion version of this. They have a more lightweight version, and I was kind of nervous to try this because I thought it might be greasy. Oh my gosh, it is so moisturizing, and the thing I love about it most is it absorbs into the skin so quickly. So my skin immediately feels hydrated, and then I'm not left with that greasy residue on my skin. I will say the Glow Getter line from Naturium does have a specific smell to it. I can't quite I can't put my finger on it. To me, it's very sweet. And it's almost like maybe like a raspberry, like vanilla smell. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. So if you are sensitive to smell, you may not love that about this line. And as bad as I do hate to say this, the smell does stick around. Like if you use the lotions, the smell does stick around, in my opinion. The body wash, not so much, but it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't think it smells bad. It's just like a sweet smell. So I do want to caution on that because some of you have extremely sensitive skin like I do. Normally, fragrance is not a good thing for my skin. However, I have never reacted to this in any way. So this is my second tub, and as you can see, like, Max loves getting into this too, and he puts it on, but I'm already getting close to being halfway out of it. So this has just been something I've been loving this winter time, mainly because of the hydration with no residue. Okay, we are done with beauty and lifestyle. I think that's all I had. So we're wrapping up with that, moving into some books that I have finished in the past couple of months. Since we last talked, it looks like I finished 4 books. And I have the Fable app now, which is similar to Goodreads, except you can do like quarter stars, half star ratings. And if you're not familiar with Goodreads or Fable, basically this is where you can keep up with the books that you've read for the year. Fable's really fun because it's very interactive. Like, you can have conversations with people, you can join ebook clubs. So if you don't have like a book club in your community or area or friends that do book clubs, you can join book clubs on Fable. So you can follow me on Fable. I'll try to remember to put my link down below in case you're interested in, you know, if we have the same vibe in our reads. You can follow me on there and see what I'm reading. But it looks like the first book that I finished is one that I've been reading since October. I've talked about this briefly. It's the Malice book from John Gwynne. It's the first book in the Faithful and Fallen series by him. This was very outside of my comfort zone because it is a very heavily male-dominated epic fantasy series. Generally, I'm used to my FMCs. I'm used to my female main characters when it comes to any type of fantasy. And so I wanted to see if I could challenge myself to care. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could care about men. Turns out, listen, I was ready to leave these little men's high and dry. Okay, like 40-50% in, I was like, dear God, please get me through that like 60-70% mark in this book. I got through it and I was hooked. I was like, suddenly I was like, you know, when you like flip a page and it's a character's chapter that you just like don't really care about and you're like, ugh. Suddenly I was flipping my page to those characters and I was like, let's see where you're at, baby boy. Let's see what is going on. Because I'm hooked. I'm here to stay. So after I got past, I would definitely say it took over half of the book for me to really get into this series. I was hooked. I was floored. I wanted to know every single thing that these men were up to. There's actually only one female point of view in this entire book. Also, of course, she's like my favorite character, but for the most part, you do follow younger coming-of-age men. This is a 4-part series, so I can see where they will get older. They will probably have lots of character progression and arcs. But if you like Game of Thrones, this to me has a very Game of Thrones vibe without the dragons. You might like this. I will say it is slow in the beginning, but the ending of this book was... I gave it 4 stars. Despite really being bored with the first half of the series, I still gave this book a 4-star rating. Talk about a leap away from fantasy. After I did finish Malice, I kind of wanted a little bit of a breather. This one I did on audio. It was on sale for like $3.99 and I had already had 2 people recommend it to me. It's called The One by John Maars. Apparently it's a Netflix show. I have not watched it, but this was more of a dystopian, futuristic, a little Black Mirror-ish to me. If you've ever watched Black Mirror, it's basically set in a futuristic society where you can match your DNA on a website to find your absolute soulmate. So someone that is literally DNA compatible with you, a soulmate in every sense of the word, basically is what this book is about. You follow multiple point of views. And unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to like give away obviously what the plot ends up being, but I had fun with this. Was it the most enlightening read? No, but I will say it was fun. It was quick. You follow multiple point of views and it's just different scenarios of these people who were matched on this website. Some people find out, for example, that their soulmates died. Some people ruin marriages. And so it's all of these different scenarios formed into multiple point of views. I rated it 3.75 stars. There were some things that just the math wasn't mathing on it for me, and it was a little annoying. Also, some of the narrators for the characters were very annoying to me. So I rated the audiobook as a whole 3.75. I had fun with it. It was a good refresher book. For the girlies, I finished Onyx Storm. It took me 6 days. It did not take me long. Is Fourth Wing the most well-rounded fantasy series? No. Is it a fun ride? Yes, absolutely. In my Fable review for Onyx Storm was that it was 1,000 times better than Iron Flame, and that's all that we could ask for. Honestly, I do not have any complaints for Onyx Storm. And this is coming from, I feel like I have read a broad scope of fantasy here, okay? I've done romantasy, I've done epic, like I said, male-driven dominant fantasies, which I feel like is the argument between like a romantasy and then typical like epic fantasy, especially written by men. A lot of men are dogging on and now calling romantasy chick lit. Anyways, I feel like I've read a broad scope of fantasy at this point, okay? I've read Brandon Sanderson. I've read Pierce Brown, John Gwynne. Like, I have other point of views that are opposite from a female written fantasy. And you know what? I think there is enough plot and enough secrets in the Fourth Wing series that I don't see where people get off complaining. Is it juvenile at times? Yes, absolutely. It's about characters in their early 20s. Like, I look back at my early 20s and I'm like, oh, her brain wasn't fully developed. But I really enjoyed the last half of this book, and I find that that is the case with Rebecca Yarros and the Fourth Wing series. In all of her books so far in the series, I enjoy the later half, and I love the ending. I love the cliff. She can leave you with a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Like, she can suck you in to that next book. I rated it 4 stars, guys. Like, I had no problem with it. I thought it was interesting. It kept me intrigued. Was I a little confused at times? Yes. Am I always a little confused at times when it comes to fantasy series? Yes. Next up on the list is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I actually listened to this one on audio because it was highly recommended to listen to on audio. It's highly rated either way, but I had seen so many people say if you can, or if you have an Audible account, listen to this one on audio. And I did that. This one was also on sale, so I got a good deal on Project Hail Mary on my Audible, and I listened to it, and I'm so glad that I did listen to it, because I will say I don't know if I would have been able to get through it if I would have done a tangible read on this. So this is this is a sci-fi book. This is not necessarily fantasy. It is literally astronauts stuck in space vibe. If you've ever watched The Martian or read The Martian, that's also by Andy Weir. He definitely loves his space themes. So this essentially starts out, you follow this character who wakes up in space. He does not know how he got there. And none of this is spoilers. This happens within like the first couple pages. There are 2 other people that he wakes up beside. They are both dead, and he's trying to navigate and figure out how he got there and what his purpose is there. There were parts of this that I really liked and parts that I didn't. And I will just go ahead and say this is a preference thing. This puts the sci and sci-fi. You have a lot of math jargon. You have a lot of physics talk. And listen, that's just not me. You're looking at someone that did remedial math. I was actually placed in like a remedial math when I got into college. It was literally a math class that you had to test out of just to get into remedial math. So that's your girl right here. I had a hard time with like the math and physics jargon. I didn't enjoy it. I zoned out a lot. And you do get a lot of that in this book, which is why I'm glad I listened to it on audio. But you also have a lot of mystery involved where there's flashbacks. So I was very intrigued by that. And then midway through, you have another supporting character that comes into play. And in my opinion, the supporting character steals the show in this book. So overall, I rated it a 3.75. I know some people who are more interested in space and science and physics probably absolutely love this. My husband is reading it right now. He's loving it. I just know he's going to give it like a 4.5. Again, it's just a preference thing. I rated it a 3.75 because just standard sci-fi typically is not my genre, but I had a good time with it. It was a wholesome space read. So last but not least, we have The Will of the Many by James Islington. That is my last book that I finished. I just finished it last week. I don't know why it took me so long to read this. When I say this book has been hammered into my For You page for the past 6 months, it's like literally all that I see. Now, I will say it's also heavily compared to my favorite, all-time favorite fantasy series, which is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. A lot of people compare these 2 books together. However, The Will of the Many currently is only a 1 book. There's no series. The second book is supposed to come out this year. I don't know how many books are supposed to be in the series, but currently there's only 1 book out. So I don't want to compare it to Red Rising because Red Rising is almost a completed series with 7 books. However, it's very hard not to, because as soon as I started reading, I noticed the common themes. So The Will of the Many is very heavily influenced on the Roman Empire. So think of the Roman Empire just in a futuristic setting. You have a class system. It's called the hierarchy. So there's different levels of classes, and basically you cede will to different people. So the higher up you are in this class system, you have people underneath you that you are essentially draining life from. You are sucking will from. Really interesting concept. Immediately I was hooked on that. It's like a pyramid scheme on steroids. And you follow a young character named Vis, who's an orphan. He's kind of been on the run for a while. He's trying to escape this hierarchy system. He does not believe in ceding will or taking will from people. And he's unfortunately put into the situation where he's placed in kind of like this world-renowned academy where young adults go to they're basically trained to be put into the hierarchy system as like higher ups. So like senators and government and religion. Have a lot of secrets, a lot of revelations that unfold throughout the way. I had a really good time with this book. I will say I do think I let the hype overtake my expectations, because I was expecting a lot out of this book, and by the ending, everyone just raved about the ending of this book, and by the ending I was like, I don't know, it left me, it was a good cliffhanger, but it wasn't one where I was like, oh my god, I am like gnawing at the bars of my enclosure to get the second book. You know what I mean? So I just think I should have stayed away from the hype. Just feel like I let the hype take over on this one. It was a very good read. I think if I would have read it without ever having any back knowledge or people hyping it up, I probably would have maybe enjoyed it a little bit more. I do see the common themes with it and Red Rising, but I would personally say I don't think there's enough there to even compare the two by the end of the book. To me, this was more of a YA Hunger Games meets Roman Empire. I went back and forth on what to rate this. At first I gave it like a 3.75, and then I was like, no, like I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a 4 star. So ended up giving it a 4 star. I do hope that book 2 can like really sweep me off my feet. All right, so that is it for favorites. I hope you all enjoyed seeing my lineup and also what I've been reading the past couple months. As always, would love to know what you all are enjoying, would love to know what you're reading. I'll have my Fable app listed down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.